This wasn't your typical boring annual shareholders meeting, well, most of it. This was Tesla shareholders voting a resounding yes to locking in Elon Musk's $1 trillion pay package, with 75% of shareholders in agreement with that. What does this mean for Tesla's future, its shareholders, humanity even? This is the starting gun for the Tesla robot empire, autonomous vehicles the world over, and consider this. Through Tesla's capitalist profit and innovation, will Optimus robots ironically deliver socialism's dream of equality and security for all? That is a weird thought, isn't it? Capitalism, building robots that end poverty and deliver a socialist utopia, without anyone planning it. That's peak Elon irony. And as usual, I guess the most entertaining outcome is the most likely. All this coming up for your viewing pleasure as I ramble through over 2 hours of notes that I took from yesterday's annual shareholder meeting. I'm Will, this is the Tesla Jigsaw. Welcome! The evening started with Robin Denholm, the chair of the board of directors at Tesla. She mentioned that Tesla is at an inflection point and it's not only redefining the automotive industry, but shifting from selling cars to scaling robotaxis, humanoid robots, AI and energy storage as well, which is going to be unlocking exponential growth beyond automotive. She mentioned that Tesla Energy deployed a record 31.4 gigawatt hours in 2024, and they've already crushed that with 32.5 gigawatt hours year to date in 2025. Tesla Energy, or their battery storage products, remain the sleeping giant that will help transform our world to sustainable abundance. She mentioned that Tesla owners have saved 31 million metric tons of greenhouse gas emissions. That's the equivalent of planting 500 million trees and letting them grow for 10 years. Or removing 6.7 million internal combustion engine cars from the roads forever. The positive environmental impact that Tesla is having on the world is huge. Next up, she discussed safety, where Tesla vehicles consistently achieve the highest safety standards. Under FSD, there are now 1 crash in every 6.8 million miles driven, making driving on FSD 10 times safer. Come on, European regulators, you are costing lives with your dilly-dallying. Robin also urged people to read the Impact Report, which summarises progress in sustainable energy, emissions reductions, supply chain responsibility, etc. Seems a shame that those who have been brainwashed into thinking Tesla bad for the environment are probably the least likely to be bothered to read it. And finally, Robin reminded us that increasing accessibility for new Tesla owners comes about by lowering product prices, something that Tesla have historically done and will continue to do in the future, by driving down costs and scaling manufacturing. Next up came the formal proposals from institutional shareholders, which was so boring I think I might have died for some time, but thankfully I came back to life when we got to the good bit. Elon Musk's CEO performance compensation package was approved with 75% voting yes, which finalises Elon Musk's $1 trillion Tesla compensation package. But he doesn't just get it all up front, he's got to do a bit of work first of all. He needs to achieve 12 tranches of milestones over 10 years. There are market cap targets. He needs to grow Tesla from where it is today to $8.5 trillion in $500 billion increments. Operational goals. He needs to hit 20 million annual vehicle deliveries, 10 million active FSD subscriptions, 1 million Optimus robots shipped, and 1 million robotaxis deployed, and 400 billion adjusted EBITDA over 4 quarters. And he also needs to maintain his position as CEO into the future. Provided there's no hurdles here, the package is all stock, so value ties to Tesla price. Prior Delaware court issues are bypassed via Texas's incorporation. So success could make Musk the first trillionaire, but failure means no payout. This is all pure performance-based. But of course, Elon Musk already achieved the impossible by growing Tesla's market cap over 10 times through groundbreaking milestones, earning a 2018 compensation package that 73% of shareholders approved in 2018 and reaffirmed with 72% support in 2024, only for a corrupt Delaware judge to void it despite the clear will of the owners. Disgraceful, but the difference between Texas and Delaware in a nutshell, Texas honours big shareholder votes, whereas in Delaware, they let judges override votes even after approval, inviting endless challenges. Texas is safer for Musk's pay. Good, let the man do what he does best and build the impossible. Okay, so Elon Musk came out dancing alongside the Optimus robots that are looking pretty flipping good. I mean, look at this hand now. This is an updated hand compared to the one we saw in the previous year's We Robot event. It's looking far slicker, more degrees of freedom, and this probably will be the hand that will be in the version 3 of the Optimus, coming very soon. Anyway, back to Elon. As he came out, he said how boring and dull all the shareholder meetings were. After I think I fell asleep for half an hour with the beginnings of this one. But yes, he's right. I mean, this was a beautiful room, wasn't it? Full of packed, excited Tesla shareholders and, a couple of Optimus just standing on stage. He mentioned that they now charge themselves, are wandering around the Tesla offices, and will be the biggest product of all time, by far. He's suggested that they will be bigger than cell phones. Can you imagine a product being more ubiquitous than a mobile phone? But think about it long enough and you'll probably get to the same conclusion too, which is where I'm at. Everyone's going to want one. It's going to transform industry, and there could be tens of billions in the future. I know this sounds ridiculous, but I really don't think it is. I've thought about this long and hard. What possible product could there be on Earth that would be more important and more useful to humans than an army of useful, affordable, labour-providing robots for industries, for homes? There is none. Tell me in the comments below if you can think of one. He mentioned that there will be a 1 million unit production line in the Fremont factory and then 10 million unit production at Giga Austin, the larger of the two factories. But consider this, as we are used to seeing Teslas drive off the assembly line like this Model Y, exactly like mine, but its brain's been turned on and it can actually drive itself. Can you imagine watching a steady flow, or probably many lines of Optimus walking off their production line and going to deliver themselves, just wandering off? I mean, pop a hat and get an umbrella, I suppose, in case it rains. And off they go. Well, what a bizarre thought. But we're going to see this. This will be reality, just like we are now watching the Tesla robot cars drive themselves off the production line after being assembled mostly by robots as well. Strange. Okay, let me go on. Elon also joked that he's not sure where to put the 100 million production line. And somebody shouted out Mars, perhaps. But they could get to 1 billion run rate per year. Again, this is extraordinary, and my brain just wants to linger on that, but it won't. It needs to crack on. Of course, people will dismiss this as it'll never going to happen, as we've heard with every Tesla product that evidently came before the reality of it being produced. But only Tesla have the manufacturing capabilities, don't they? The vertical integration of Optimus parts and processes, where they build everything, design or build things themselves in-house, that all the components work with one another. This is what Tesla have above anybody else. And the brain, of course, for Optimus is the full self-walking software that'll run it. You take the brain from the cars with full self-driving, pop it in an Optimus, can understand the world as it walks around it, and with further progress and iterations down the line, it will become far more understandable than me, for example. No other company on Earth will be able to match this quality, cost and manufacturing advantage from Tesla. It takes some imagination to consider the implications of useful humanoid robots, but the example that even Elon gave here is eliminating poverty, excellent medical care for everyone, hammering home that this will actually do this. People say they want to eliminate poverty, but actually Optimus is probably the best chance of actually doing that. That should be very exciting for people like Bill Gates to get behind if eliminating poverty is really at the heart of his desires. Elon also suggested that, for criminals, for example, they could have a, sentence of having an Optimus walk around with them. So they could follow criminals around and stop you committing crimes. So RoboCop confirmed, I guess. Wild possibilities with that. And then he notes that, thanks to AI and robots, they could increase the global economy by 10 times, maybe 100 times. That's the true amazement of this situation, recognizing that the robots are going to be very, very real indeed, and they are going to be solving the biggest problem humanity has possibly ever faced, apart from all the extinction events, I suppose. Solving the labour market for the entire planet, the world. This would lift the planet out of poverty if we have a labour force that can make anything, can take care of everything. Crazy times. Okay. He also recommended the Ian Banks culture books if you want to have a delve into the sort of vision that Elon sees for the future for robots and AI. Elon went on to mention the Optimus robots are potentially the infinite money glitch, as he put it. And, I'll throw in some thoughts here. If you were to tax the robots at a substantial level, more so than you do humans, for example, they could provide universal basic income or universal high income for everybody. So this does mean that capitalism might end up solving what socialists want. It was Farzad who released a video about this the other day that I watched, and I couldn't stop thinking about it afterwards. But capitalism's robot fix for socialism's dream. So Tesla Optimuses flood the world with cheap, tireless labour. Everyone wants one, owns one, rents one, whatever. The robots work 24/7, and then they pay a labour tax, a tax that funds universal high income for every human. No one would need to work, which is another subject, but markets would still drive innovation and abundance. The result is socialism's equality and security goal delivered by capitalist robots and profit. Do we want this future of less suffering, more abundance and more leisure time for humans, or not? It's a very interesting concept, isn't it? Which I need to think about much more to really truly understand it. Okay. Next up in the meeting, there were some slides. The Model Y is now the #1 selling car of any kind on Earth. That's quite important, isn't it? Quite a big tick off your list of things to accomplish in the world. He mentioned that Tesla's mission has been updated somewhat with the goal of sustainable abundance. You can have everything you want and keep natural beauty in the world. That's what that kind of means in a nutshell. And then he gave the analogy of FSD being like a cat. Again, I think we've heard this before, haven't we? If you've got a cat, it's just a cat. But what if your cat was Puss in Boots and it could actually work a sword and be really cool? That's the analogy that Elon has given a few times on the difference between a standard car that is just a car, but it can also drive itself. Do you want a boring cat? I'm not saying all cats are boring, but well, they are a bit, aren't they? Don't do much. Compared to Puss in Boots, far more interesting, although might kill you. Guess that's where the analogy ends. But he also said that people have actually paid for FSD in their Teslas, but they haven't even tried it. They haven't even turned it on, which is a bit bizarre, isn't it? But he suggests that once you do try it, people can't live without it. Can confirm. I've got so many comments on my YouTube videos from people in America and around the world that have FSD and they no longer flipping drive. They pay attention and make sure it's okay, but pretty much they don't drive anymore. That is bonkers. Can't wait. Elon mentioned that they are almost at the time where you can text and drive, and suggest that over the next month or two, they're hopefully going to be lifting the regulation to do this. But what's happening at the moment is people are driving around on FSD, but because the cameras are watching their eyes, the moment they start texting, the car will come out of FSD and warn you or ban you or whatever. So people are coming out of FSD, driving manually, and then texting instead. I mean, you can't help but have stupid people no matter what. Some of them drive Teslas, no doubt. Stop texting while you're driving, people. Flipping heck. It kills people. You could be the murderer. That's the problem. So yes, let's get FSD available as soon as possible, where you can text and drive for those people who want to partake in that sort of behaviour. Well, I got him a note that Elon thanked Europe, and Elon talks to the regulators often, and there are billions of miles of or billions of kilometres of data, and he's trying to get it pushed as soon as possible to get FSD in Europe. Lives are at stake, of course. Not sure quite why he thanked Europe collectively or just the regulators. I don't know. Moving on. They've got partial approval for FSD now in China, and he expects it to be a done deal by February, March, which is great for, Chinese people. Every Tesla is capable of FSD. Most people don't know that. Right back to the cat analogy. Yes. Onto the Cybercab. Now, we were privy to these amazing new images of the Cybercab, I guess, pilot production line, or is this the actual production line? Not sure. Probably just a pilot one, isn't it? And there is no steering wheel, for anyone still confused by that fact. It is designed as a fully autonomous car to be just that. And they are aiming for April production. Flipping heck, that's close, isn't it? It's designed purely for autonomous world. As for the manufacturing, he described it as closer to high-volume consumer device manufacturing. So that's electronic devices, phones, etc. And there's going to be a unit popping off the production line every 10 seconds. That's ridiculous. That's so fast. But it gets even more bonkers. In a few years' time, they expect to get the run rate to a vehicle every 5 seconds. So that's 2 to 3 million production line at first, but once they reach a scale of 5 million per year, that will become a 5-second cycle time. Crazy. He said that these will be everywhere in the future, will change the look of the roads. Well, that's an understatement, isn't it? And with the ability to buy one of these and also remove the need to ever learn to drive, provide safe, affordable transportation for those who don't want to drive, the elderly, disabled, and replace fossil fuel cars at a scale we've never seen before, these will, of course, run on sustainable energy. Again, thanks to Tesla, the future will actually look futuristic and provide all these extra benefits to people too. Amazing. And a reminder that Tesla are already robot manufacturers. They make the batteries, the power electronics, gearboxes, AI, chips, software. They already manage a fleet of self-driving cars. Optimus is just with arms and legs. Tesla are very suited for this arena. And the three things that other robot manufacturers really need to overcome is hands. They need extraordinarily good hands. And as Elon found out when they first began developing Optimus, they couldn't even get the actuators. They've had to build and develop those themselves, along with all the other components. They also need real-world AI data, which is already gathered from Tesla's fleet of 7+ million vehicles. And they also need manufacturing at scale. Tesla has this. Next, we saw the prototype production line in Fremont, California, where the Optimus is going to be built first of all. He said that once we reach 1 million, the cost of production for an Optimus should be around $20,000, making it very affordable. Again, this is going to be the difficulties for other manufacturers of any robots. Tesla has the scaling, the manufacturing prowess, the capabilities to build affordable robots. It's the same as the EV market. Remember, Tesla are the only electric vehicle company that make profitable electric vehicles. So any manufacturer of other robots, might be double the price if they have to make some profit selling them as well. And the current Optimuses that we're looking at are just version 2.5. We are yet to see version 3, but he says that it's like a person in a robot outfit. And like anything Tesla, it's going to keep advancing over time. So Optimus 4 will be in 2027, Optimus 5 in 2028. There'll probably just be an annual release cycle of constantly improving robots, matched with gigantic increases in scale of production. He went on to discuss sustainable abundance for the planet and AI in abundance too, and how full self-driving is preventing hundreds of millions of accidents. Next, he went to talk about the Tesla chips that they build themselves as well, but says they are actually maxing out with chip manufacturers to provide enough for Tesla's needs, so may have to do a Tesla chip lab, a terafab as he called it. He also discussed how solar power is necessary for the future. We do have a great big nuclear reactor in the sky, which we are not harnessing anywhere near the amount of energy that we need to provide this AI energy sustainable abundance future. Tesla will have a massive part to play in that, with continued battery storage deployment and hopefully moving into the solar market too. Next up, the Tesla Semi. They're aiming for volume production in 2026. So that's the Tesla Semi, the Cybercabs and Optimus. 3 gigantic products that are literally going to change the world. He touched on batteries again and how they are a bigger deal than most people realise, especially the new Mega Block, which is part of the puzzle for an abundant, affordable, drop-and-play energy storage system. He mentioned there are now 70,000 superchargers around the world, and that they have the biggest lithium refinery outside of China. And in worst case scenario, they now have all the ingredients to make batteries themselves, making the supply chain very resilient against any political changes. And finally, he talked about 4680 cells, the fact that not only Cyber trucks are full of 4680s, but also the Cybercab and Optimus will also be running on these too, and they will take as many as our suppliers will provide us with. I'm going to leave it there because it's a long flipping video, innit? Much to digest, of course. What are you most excited by? Let me know in the comments below. I'm Will, this is the Tesla Jigsaw. Thank you, patrons. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Oh, check out this video next.